This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
And welcome back to the show, or welcome to the show, I should say. My name is Jeff Beals. I am your co-host, and we are brought to you today by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. You will not find another show in the area that talks about our topics, that is real estate development and construction, economic development, really the growth and the health of your favorite city. Without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a man who is absolutely legendary as a real estate deal maker, Trenton Megid.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well,
hello, everyone.
You're welcome.
I'm not as legendary as Mike Tyson is in boxing.
I heard that really didn't go so well for Mike Tyson last night.
Well, he got $20 million reportedly, and Jake Paul got like $40 million, and so it was quite the spectacle. And there's a lot of naysayers online. Netflix had a little buffering issue on many formats, and but you know what? I'm happy for Mike Tyson getting the money. And everybody loves Mike Tyson.
Well, I'm a lot closer.
Except Evander Holyfield.
I'm a lot closer in age to Mike Tyson than I am to Jake Paul. So a lot of us old guys were kind of, hoping that he could kind of carry the banner for us. And apparently now he is well past his prime.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, looked every bit of his 58 years.
He actually looked really good for 58 years. I don't know if I want to be that wide. Well, maybe I am, but I thought he looked pretty good for 58 years.
I don't think this Jake Paul guy would have wanted to fight Mike Tyson 30 years ago.
Absolutely. He wasn't alive. So, yeah.
Remember those Mike Tyson fights in those days? Like, they would last like 45 seconds or something like that.
And people paid $5,000 and hadn't gotten to their seat yet.
Yeah, he's not that Mike Tyson anymore. Well, make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you sign up for the newsletter. You can get to it by going to news@growomaha.com and saying, hey, send me the newsletter, or just signing up for it on growomaha.com. Got to talk to you about this a little bit, though, because we have had several people write into Grow Omaha and say, hey, we have been getting the newsletter, and for the last few weeks, we have not received it. It's not in our junk file. It's not in our spam file. And it's our understanding that if you've got like a Gmail address, Cox.net are the worst. A lot of Cox.net people are not getting it.
Especially if they cut off your Cox.
Yahoo, some of those people. And if in those situations you're not getting it, you can always see it online by going to growomaha.com. When you get there, there's a navigation bar at the top. Just click newsletter. The most recent newsletter is always on top. But we have every newsletter going back to when we started the newsletter about 4 years ago. So you can always see it there if by some chance you're having trouble. These email services are getting pickier and pickier.
Now we have 22,000 plus people that get it, so I can understand that.
Yeah. And we might be getting a new email service because the current one stinks. But at any rate...
The good news, Jeff,
I'm not happy with the current service.
The good news is if you go to growomaha.com, since we have 4 writers now, there's a continuous news briefs section where it just keeps going, so you can get daily updates. And our Facebook page, too, has great stories and leads into the Facebook page. Into the website. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, like Trenton said, new news every single day on growomaha.com. And so that's where we most really want you to go, because you can see every single newsletter and all of our other exciting content. Well, with that, we've got some news content for you this morning, and it's brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. They are located at 114th and Davenport. They are located virtually at eaglemortgagecompany.com. And they're in the mortgage business, but they're not a bank. Basically, they're a mortgage broker. So they shop a variety of banks to which they have access on your behalf. And so they try to find the best lending solution for you. We know, and Eagle Mortgage Company knows, that for most people, the biggest thing they buy in their life is a house. And we only buy a handful of houses in our lives. You want to make sure you get it right, and that's why Eagle Mortgage Company is the choice for you. Eagle Mortgage Company soars above the other, and they won't make you soar.
And so our first news item on this week's report is involving a legendary organization in our city, the Peter Kiewit Foundation, which has donated about $1 billion for programs and projects in Nebraska and Western Iowa since it was started in 1980, the year following Peter Kiewitz's death. They are going to wind down. And the goal is to have the organization done, dissolved, and over by the year 2030. And that means in the next 5 years or so, 6, the Peter Kiewit Foundation needs to donate about $500 million.
Hate that.
And so what we are expecting would be a very big increase in the types of things they're going to be doing. It's actually kind of exciting. And the thought here is that when Peter Kiewit set this thing up toward the end of his life, he did not see this as a ongoing thing that would operate in perpetuity. He saw it as a 25 to 50 year thing. Well, the year 2030 is the 50-year anniversary of the foundation, and so the thought is, and what Pete said before his death.
I like your one-on-one with him.
I've always called him Pete.
Okay.
And of course, I was 10 when he died, but. So what he had said was that you always have to open it up for the next generation of leaders, for the next generation of donors. So this foundation had typically been distributing about $25 to $50 million a year in annual grants, and they had done, and they've been, a lot of education, a lot of those sorts of things. But around here in the Grow Omaha universe, we really talk about them with or in relation to all of these donations they've made for big urban core projects.
Absolutely.
Like most recently, they donated $55 million to the riverfront parks, and they've supported so many other big projects. And so the question is, what are they going to do? Because they have probably some big things up their sleeves. And with, at $490 million, whatever it is they have left to get rid of over the next 5 years, you could see some very impressive building projects that could have lead gifts from this winding down Kiewit Foundation.
I think one thing's for sure, Jeff. Number one is thank you to all the stakeholders and all of the administrators and Mr. Key, as I used to call him. Thank you. And one thing's for sure is that Omaha and the citizens of Omaha and Council Bluffs will definitely benefit.
And some of the other big projects over the years to which the Peter Kiewit Foundation has donated include the CHI Health Center Omaha Arena Convention Center, the Charles Schwab Field, the Bob Carey Missouri River Pedestrian Bridge, Holland Performing Arts Center, Steelhouse Omaha, and you may have heard of a thing called the Kiewit Luminarium. They made a nice donation there. The recent Joslyn Art Museum expansion. So if they are involved in those types of organizations and now suddenly they need to donate $480 million in 5 years, watch out. It could be pretty cool.
Well, the other thing that's cool, and there's so many others that we don't have time to name, but I was actually ran into Brenda Council, former city councilwoman, OPS board member, and I said, what's the best charitable organization in North Omaha? And she said it was the Lozier Foundation. And I know it is an incredibly well-run organization. That's one of them. The Robert Doherty Foundation is huge. They donated to the park. There's so many of these, and Heritage Foundation.
Omaha Community Foundation.
Yeah, and Heritage Omaha, I should say.
Trenton B. Magid Foundation.
Trenton B. Magid Foundation is out there. It's a little bit smaller than some of these. But
I have never heard of it. But.
Well, what I like to do when I donate is if you go to some of these places, some of these edifices, and it says anonymous at the top, that's me.
I always hear that the Trenton B. Magid Foundation isn't really a foundation.
Jeff seems to think that, ladies and gentlemen, but you know what?
I hear it's just an account at the Omaha Community Foundation.
It's a small account there, but there's also a Trenton B. Magid Fund at the Jewish Federation of Omaha. And there's might be a couple others, and there might be some direct gifting. You should try it.
Well, like I say, I can't be too hard on you because there's not even an account named the Jeff Beals Foundation.
That's true. If you can see that at Jeff's bio on our website.
Creighton University has started construction on a future softball stadium on the southeast corner of 20th and Cummings Street. So there's a lot of Creighton construction going on in that corridor. So, okay, picture 20th and Cummings Street if you can. Southeast corner. Creighton building a new softball stadium. To the west of that, there is construction going on another square block. That is going to be the Creighton University Sophomore Residence Hall. And then to the west of that is the Dental College, which has been around for several years. So you have the Dental College, then the next block to the east is going to be the future Residence Hall, then the softball stadium. But wait, there's more. To the east, southeast of the softball stadium, Creighton's going to build a baseball practice field and an indoor training center that will go all the way over to about 17th Street. Well, once you get to 17th Street, that's when you get into the Noddle Company's Builders District, where Noddle Companies has built most of what will be a park. It's done, but the final amenities aren't in there, and that's not open to the public yet. And there's talk that there could be some really cool things going into that area. So you're seeing what appears to be the start of literally an avalanche of development in that Builders District Creighton University campus. Some pretty exciting stuff. One point of order, though, about this: while the Creighton varsity softball team will play in this new stadium, the baseball thing is just a practice field. They will still play their games at Charles Schwab Field.
That whole Builders District, it's like it's been like unburdened by what will be.
I beg your pardon?
That's what I keep saying.
Okay, so crews are demolishing a house or three houses on the southeast corner of 38th Avenue and Dodge Street in the Blackstone area. We've had a lot of Grow Omaha listener subscribers write in saying, what's going on there? What's going on there? Because they were pretty cool old historic houses, so that part's unfortunate. But they were across the street from a Taco Bell, so it's not like it was any sort of, district or anything. And in its place, an organization called Skylark Development is building a $22 million 7-story building with 131 apartment units. Now, the lower couple levels of this building will be indoor parking. So I think you'll end up with about 4 or 5 levels of actual apartments. But this continues the trend of greater density in the urban core, kind of on the northern edge of the Blackstone district. It'll be between the Orbit and the streetcar. This is the type of stuff that we're going to see there, and this is what allows us to, make the urban core denser and allow the city to be more economically healthy.
Transit-oriented districts.
TOD. And with that, we're going to wind up our development news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. And we're going to take our first break of the hour. When we come back, we're going to bring on a good friend of ours, Doug Dushan. He is with Simplifi, a home technology and sound and lighting business. And we're going to talk about some cool trends and what people are putting into their homes, especially upscale homes. In fact, we have kind of an upscale home theme going on, because later in the show, we're going to talk about a Wall Street Journal article that highlighted upscale neighborhoods and homes in Omaha. So you're going to enjoy this conversation. Stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Good big voice.
They're good to go.
You played that beautifully with the
Builders District. I didn't even get it. I wasn't even really listening to what you were saying. What did you say?
I said something about that area is unburdened by what will be. You might have heard that during the campaign a little bit, something like that.
Unburdened with what will be. I don't remember hearing that.
Anyone?
Unburdened by what has been. That's the Kamala.
Yeah. The future unburdened by what has been. You've never heard that?
I don't recall.
Jesus.
Yeah. I don't listen.
Have you been?
I don't watch TV. I read the Wall Street Journal. I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV. It's a bunch
I'll
of.
send you a compilation.
I don't need it. Now I know about it.
It'd be healthy.
Well, you don't know.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
I don't need to know anymore.
Yeah.
So what's funny is you go in like Street of Dreams and stuff. Yeah. Not all of them, but you'll go in these like $1 million, $2 million houses, and they'll have hollow core doors, but they'll have like great amenities.
Yeah. Gotta cut the budget
And
somewhere.
they may not be the best lot too, like the backyard's small.
Right.
It's weird what people are putting in their house. I mean, the technology stuff is cool, but it just the older houses with stronger.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of corners cut. I think there's, a lack of people really advising clients on long-term longevity, quality, things of that nature. And it's more just how do we get to the end here?
And like what's funny is people don't. necessarily they spend $1 million, $2 million on a house, like with 1 or 2 bedrooms. They build it for themselves, and that's wonderful. Maybe they don't give us a heck, but then when you go to sell it, it's like, wow, it's a 6,000 square foot house with 2 bedrooms. And
My house was built with hollow core doors.
Yeah.
And we replaced every door in the house a few years ago. There's a lot of doors. And for all of the bedroom and bathrooms, we did solid core. That really made a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the quiet quotient.
you did it during pandemic and only took 8 months or something.
Well, that was a different problem, but it did take a long time. Yeah, it was nothing to do with the pandemic.
What did you do with the old ones? Did you take them to restore or something?
The installer company took care of that. Yeah. I don't care what they did with them as long as they left the house and never came back.
So are you tech? You've been in my house I think one time.
Yeah.
I might need you to come back.
Yeah.
For some reason, like I can usually turn on the projection and the receiver or whatever, but I can't turn them off. Is that a common,
sure.
Is that a common thing? Are you a techie guy as well?
He's like operator.
Yeah.
It'll take you like 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you controlling it? A little universal remote?
Universal remote that charges.
Okay.
What else should we do to my house?
Here we go.
Oh, that was quick.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic.
I'm gonna move my house 3 inches to the left.
Radio 1110 KFAB and KFAB.com and
Better
our
view.
radio station.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid here. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, 4 metro area locations, and Cheer Athletics. You can find them southwest of Highways 50 and 370 in beautiful Papillion, Nebraska. They are an outstanding way for your kids, your grandkids to get involved, to learn leadership and competition skills and grow in their confidence, not to mention their physical fitness. Great organization. You can find out more at caomaha.com. We have our friend Doug Dushan with us. Doug has had an interesting career in the home sound and lighting and technology industry. Years ago, helping build the sound environment and ecosystems. Most recently, I spent 2.5 years in Aspen, Colorado, working in the top-tier luxury market, where any house below $30 million was kind of an ordinary run-of-the-mill house. And so he's back in Omaha and bringing back some of the interesting trends and experiences he learned in Aspen and bringing them to nice houses here in Omaha. And the company that he is co-owner of is called Simplifi. Doug, welcome back to the show and welcome back home to Omaha.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be back. It's been about 5 years since I was here, I think.
Yeah, we had
6
you.
years.
We talked about all the cool technology in houses that people were putting in the last time you were here. And I imagine now that is pretty ancient technology.
It continues to change every year.
Is wireless one of the biggest things, or are people still wiring their houses with speakers and stuff?
It's funny. I think consumers assume that everything is moving away from wires, but at all the trade shows, we are very much a wired world. Wi-Fi, of course, is critical to everything that we do, but wires are still very much a part of what we do. So when we can get a wire to places, it's ideal. But there are increasing wireless options. They're just not what you want to focus on as a core.
Do you get into the realm of like, say I have Verizon and I have an iPhone, and I live in the city, but the signal is really weak in my house. Do you do those boosters and things like that, or is that more IT guy?
No, we do get into that, but a lot of times it's really the whole process is just kind of talking about lifestyle scenarios and figuring out what the challenges are. A lot of times what I'm doing there is looking at the Wi-Fi in the home and what's the caliber of the Wi-Fi and would we be better relying on Wi-Fi calling rather than trying to boost a signal, because if you don't have a great signal to begin with, you really can't boost it. You're just kind of bringing that same signal inside the house. So
at Simplifi, and you spell it uniquely, I believe.
Yeah, Simplifi with an I.
With an I, okay, and .com?
Mm-hmm.
Great name.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, simplifyyourhome.com.
Simplifyyourhome.com.
Okay, now that we got the website figured out,
Yeah.
I want to talk to you, Doug, a little bit about some of the experiences you had in Aspen, and then after that, we'll kind of talk about how you're bringing some of that cutting edge luxury market stuff here to Omaha. But Aspen's a pretty special place as far as the elite hanging out in the rarefied air and not just talking about the elevation. You told me when we talked a couple weeks ago that if you don't have $30 million, you're probably not going to be buying much of a house in Aspen these days.
It was a pretty big eye opener going out there. Yeah, I don't think I've worked in a home less than 20 plus million in my 2.5 years out there. And the caliber and the attention to detail required in homes like that was really profound. So honestly, I feel like I just went to through a master's program in my skill set and in my trade. So,
what's the coolest thing that you saw out there that sticks out? I'm sure there are plenty of cool things, but what's something that people don't see here or most places?
Oh, some of the wilder things, $1 million televisions that kind of come up out of the ground and unfold out by the pool. So not many of those in Omaha.
I thought I was the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now that we've said this, there's going to be some other people that jump on the bandwagon.
Now I just need a pool and that TV.
Now, so here in Omaha, $1 million is a pretty big deal for a house here in Omaha.
It is.
And so how can you take that uber luxury market? Because certainly there's an awful lot of money in this town, and there are a lot of people who want to have definitely the finer things when it comes to in-home technology. How is Simplifi bringing some of that uber luxury market stuff here into a normal or regular market like Omaha?
Regular people like us. I think one of the interesting takeaways that I got to experience in Aspen is there's really no client out there that has just one home, right? These 30, 50, $100 million homes are their 4th or 10th home. I, believe it or not, have a client that literally has 50 homes.
50 homes.
50 homes.
Does he,
one for every week.
Does he
and a couple to grow on.
Right.
Does he not know about some of them?
I think he's acutely aware of all of them.
He doesn't rent them out?
No. Doesn't want anybody else in his homes.
They get germs.
Right, exactly. But where I was going is the trend that I've seen is with home technology is that clients have had a bad experience or a frustrating experience somewhere with either their audio-video integrator or with their technology. And so I see this trend towards kind of simplification and decentralization. I mean, there are still, when you do a needs assessment, maybe there's a need for a more comprehensive control system. But really the trend is, I want music, streaming music throughout the house. And I want good Wi-Fi, and I want to be able to see, the package on the front door and maybe they're using their Apple TV remote to control their remote or their TV just locally. So there's a trend towards that, but at the same time, and especially in nicer homes, in the luxury end of the market, when you're paying attention to the quality of finishes and surfaces, there's a greater consideration to what does this stuff look like? Do I want a black rectangle on the wall, or and everybody's probably familiar with like the art TVs, that have become pretty more commonplace. That's kind of the first indication that our industry was listening to, hey, you find it visually objectionable. Okay, let's see what we can do about that. Because there's so much effort in the luxury market to pay attention to every aesthetic detail, but often our stuff, the speakers, the TVs, these are not attractive items, right? And in their regular state, or what we're accustomed to. So there is a trend to let's make the speakers smaller. Let's make them match the visual footprint of the recessed lighting instead of a big pancake on the ceiling. Let's so that is the other trend.
Because in the 80s and 90s, everybody wanted to show off their big ass speakers.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the opposite now.
So another minute or two with Doug Dushan from Simplifi, which provides in-home technology services, particularly on an upscale environment. And Doug, I wanted to kind of touch on what LED lighting has made possible, because there are so many more options with all of the recent advances in lighting technology.
Honestly, and that's one of the most compelling reasons that, other than wanting to get off the road and be with my family and just missing the market and the partners here in Omaha, is really the opportunity in lighting and the fact that I feel it's really underserved in the Omaha area as far as a consultant to come in and help people when they're remodeling or doing a new project to talk about lighting, because it's LED is brand new technology. Really, it's only been it's been around for just over 20 years, and it is. There's a lot of misinformation and misunderstanding. People will maybe say pick a color temperature and assume 3,000 Kelvin. Right, our old incandescent were 2,700 Kelvin, a little bit warmer. People think that I just have to pick the color temperature and you're good. But there's many quality factors and how that affects. We were talking about all the nice finishes that we're putting into homes, but if we're not illuminating that with good quality lighting, then we've essentially kind of wasted all that time, effort, and money. And then there are other, probably too deep for the time we have in the program, but there are trends such as circadian rhythm lighting that literally will change throughout the day to track with the color temperature of the sun to help regulate human circadian rhythm. It's a mouthful.
Yeah, see, in my house, the lights are either on or off.
Right.
But in some houses, the lights
I've got a dimmer.
follow the, you're a little step up than some, but some houses
manual,
actually
though.
follow circadian rhythms throughout the day from sunrise to sunset. That's pretty cool.
Right.
So Doug, you guys can do all these amazing things, and you've worked with a lot of professional athletes and celebrities and uber wealthy people. And if someone here in Omaha says, I want to kind of tap into some of that and have some really amazing features in my house here in Omaha, how does it work? They have a consultation with you?
Yeah, I think, that's really what I was excited to get back to, is I really enjoy the consulting process and the working one-on-one with clients, and it really doesn't have to be an extreme project for Simplifi to be interested and to get engaged.
What's the I guess let's monetize it. What's the small? Is it $5,000 project? Is it $1,000? Is it $20,000? Like what's your starting to make your time and given the size of your growing company? What would you say the entry level is?
That's a great question and a little difficult to answer, but I'll try. I think it's more about the relationship, and sometimes there's a client that is doing a kitchen remodel and needs some advice on lighting layout. I'd say there are some projects that are in the 5,000 range, and some that are well beyond that, but. I haven't looked at it as a specific point of entry from a monetary standpoint. It's really about the relationship and can we be an advisor for life for that family.
Well, the company is called Simplifi. You can find them at simplifyyourhome.com online. Doug Dushan, appreciate you joining us. Glad you're back in Omaha and bringing these cool services to our city.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks, guys.
Doug Dushan, Simplifi. We're going to take our middle of the show break for the news. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about a Wall Street Journal article that highlighted upscale homes and neighborhoods here in Omaha. Kind of a cool thing, and other things that are on the docket. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Cheer Athletics, along with Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Do you get into cameras and all that kind of stuff?
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe that's what we could do. I live over by Zaritsky.
Yeah.
And so I think what you're, like when I go to my friend's house and they have, 14 buttons on a, because having money doesn't mean you're technical.
No.
And that's got to be the hardest thing is to train the people.
And you can't. How do you train?
Yeah, but you got to make it simplify.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think you're hitting something where, and especially new money or even old money, especially old money, it's like, they want all these great things, but, they need to be able to use it.
I think before, earlier in my career, I thought automation was the answer to everything, and I as I learned, the longer I've been in the business, the more that I've learned to really listen about, what are these limitations? Because if you shove a control system down somebody's throat that is never going to be able to learn it,
They'll never use it.
yeah, and they'll be frustrated, and so
I'm sure you go to houses where they've never used whatever they've got.
Yeah.
You have your phone. This is
Some of them don't even know what they have.
Mr. Technology here.
Yeah.
They cut me off.
Yeah.
I can't even clean my teeth with it. Too thick.
Accidents are hard,
Alright.
but choosing a repair shop is easy. Visit Dingmans.com.
I don't know how it decides when to go.
Dingmans.com for the top choice in collision repair.
Works great.
At Dingmans,
Show up.
we'd rather be the best than apologize for
And then you
anything
just gotta
else.
add it.
I like it.
Are you thinking about selling your business? Worried about confidentiality?
Just say add
You need
add.
a business
Trying to
partner
save
who
paper.
Add
knows
to
how to
contacts.
You need to call the
That is
guys
cool.
who sold more businesses for more money than anyone in Nebraska.
Because business
Call
cards
Sunrise
generate
Business
so
Broker
much
at
paper waste.
402-827-3110.
Well, I probably
Some
already
people
had you
just
in
know
there.
you can
Yeah, but
save
it
money
might
on
update, 'cause I would do
charges
address.
by
I need-
checking
I need that
Allstate
girl on
first.
my business
Those
card.
people are probably saving a carload
They'll be
of
electronic,
cash.
Chris.
So
Did it
what are
show
you
up?
waiting for?
That'll work too.
Check
As long as it
Allstate
works.
first for a quote today.
Well, when I'm trying to talk to
You're
a
in good hands with
chef or
Allstate.
restaurant manager and schedule an interview.
We can get you one.
Give me a card is probably a good idea.
Yeah, we can get you. We can get you.
I don't know why that didn't
Saying in
work.
a statement,
People
your
are like,
line is
I
smart.
don't know.
Tom
On the camera,
has
like,
proven to be a highly effective
what does it take to get a
communicator,
girl
adding, I
on
have the
business
utmost
card?
confidence that she will
We have the
excel
right
in
for girl.
podium
You have to pay for girls.
performance.
Here, let's just do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of this weird.
See, this is the thing. I love technology, but in the old days,
You got a
you would have handed him the
a
business
V-card?
card like
No, I
a
don't.
You need to
few
get
minutes
one.
ago.
Because when people send me just their information, then I got to put it in myself. That
Oh, yeah.
blows.
What's that?
But here's
This kind of thing
okay.
has been trying to take off since 2005.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember when our company was working at tried to go that
What part of
route.
town do you live?
Yeah.
Papillion.
I don't. Like, I also get like. Remember back when we would do the phone matching thing at a network thing? Oh, put your phone here,
Yeah.
and then people, and it wouldn't work. People are like, oh, screw it. Here's my card.
You know, that always felt a little naughty to me.
Yeah, kind of sexualized.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
is it protected?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to get a phone transmitted disease, a cellular transmitted
But
disease.
see, that's why I'm on Apple. You don't get
Ooh.
those.
I
CTD.
felt something.
Something happened.
54 tomorrow. Really good chance of rain on Monday that could be heavy at times and a high of 58.
Have you guys traded contact info yet?
We're
Did the business card not work?
Good thing that I was seeing this online. Okay. Here, I'm gonna. This way, there's live commercials with Timex and stuff. And
We have the best coaches in the region.
Casey the Gorilla.
to develop those
Okay.
skills. Has your athlete ever considered joining
Doug,
All-Star Cheer?
what's your phone number?
We have
402?
regional,
Sales reps and stuff,
national
or-
co-ed
just me.
teams
Yeah,
that
pretty
compete
small.
What's your
Yeah.
mobile?
It's 402-800.
And come join the All-Star
Cool.
Cheer
7862.
Cheer Athletics, where champions are
I mean,
made.
he says just him, but this guy can do deals. This guy,
Oh, no, I believe it.
this guy sells.
Okay, you think yours is on here?
Yeah.
Because what happened is the ecosystem
That
is
is-
still around, right?
I think they changed
Yeah,
names.
they're
Yeah.
now Denizen,
Okay.
but
Are they not in the same
DS.
location, or do they just?
HAN.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
They drove by. I didn't see their sign.
Yeah. Changed names though.
That could be.
You don't have a
Probably didn't.
Just
Since it's a
your
different
own
name, it probably
contact?
didn't
Yeah,
Well, just
register.
with how elaborate
This
their
says my
staff was,
text.
it would be hard to move that somewhere
Oh
else.
God, yeah, they spent
You say mine?
cash on that showroom.
Well,
Yeah.
That's funny.
that theater they got is
Oh yeah.
top notch.
That thing.
Oh yeah, we built it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went in there before?
Yeah, well, you did the.
Yeah.
Did I?
You remember you allowed me to put a party on in
That's
there?
right.
Yeah.
And Chris was one of my
That's
friends
right.
that
Yeah, I
came to
thought
the
you looked
party.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in. I went to Greg Cuttrell's birthday party. There
Oh
one time.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right,
here we go.
Time to work,
Let's have
people.
coffee. I'll reach out. Yeah, thanks, man.
Donald Trump might be serious about protecting our electrical grid. Secure the Grid Coalition's.
You don't move over here, do you care?
7:15.
You don't need whatever you want. You don't need a mic, do you?
Monday.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot at your service. We're brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center. 4 metro area locations. We have an inkling it might be 5 pretty soon. Doesn't matter which one you go to. They all do a bang-up job. See what I did there? At any rate, you won't find a better body shop. And then they also have some mechanical service as well, Dingman's Collision Center. Well, it is time for your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, in which we talk about development or business activity in or around one of the Noddle Company's many, many local projects. I say local projects, but they do things in other markets as well. Love Noddle Companies. Very, very proud to have them in Omaha. They have built so many of the blockbuster real estate development attractions that we have here. And I don't care whether you're talking about corporate headquarters like, Valmont's World Headquarters in Heartwood Preserve or HDR's global headquarters in Exarban Village, or if you are talking about places like Exarban Village or like the Builders District downtown to which Trenton referred to earlier. There's also River's Edge that Nautil Companies created, and this is the project on the eastern foot of the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge, and that's where they have the big great lawn and all sorts of development there. Well, on the corner of River's Edge, we have told you that construction has started on the Mid-American Adventure Tower. This is a 138-foot tall recreational tower. I mean, one of the reasons you'll go up there is it'll be an observation tower, but there will also be this roll glide ride, which I can't wait for Trenton to try, as long as I've got my video camera there. And there'll be like rock climbing. This is going to be a real cool amenity that will also be a landmark. This thing is getting started. Now, if you go by it, you're not going to see a lot of dramatic construction yet because so much of it has been site prep and groundwork. But Brad Williams, who does a lot of photography and video shooting for us here at Grow Omaha, he just released his most recent Brad Williams Grow Omaha construction update. And in that, a lot of things, a lot of projects, but one of them that he highlights is this Mid-American Energy project as part of River's Edge, and there's a cool aerial shot of it that he took from a helicopter. In fact, for the rest of this Nautil Companies commercial real estate development spotlight, I do want to mention just a few other things that Brad has in that video that is out. And if you want to watch the video, which we highly recommend, just go to growomaha.com. Like everything else, it's there on the website and you can see it. But a few other things that he highlights: the Tanaska Center for Arts Engagement.
Yeah, it's enclosed. It's looking nice.
Trenton, that's another $100 million project that these foundations and generous individuals have taken care of. Really cool shots of the Mutual of Omaha Tower, the sheer core, which is where the elevators will be in the middle. That's already up to the 24th floor of what will be a 20 or 44-story building. Cool shots of the Duo, which is the old Twin Towers just west of the Mutual of Omaha construction site. Out west, he's got a real cool picture of this building at 156 just north of Maple. That will be both a Stories Coffee and a Williamsburg Pizza. So at any rate, you can see that video there, and that's available on growomaha.com, and that is your Nautil Companies commercial real estate development spotlight of the week. Well, Trenton, as I told everyone before the break, I wanted to let them know about a really cool piece of publicity Omaha received in the Wall Street Journal recently. The article was published just this past Monday, and it's titled, "What Makes Omaha Different from Other Million-Dollar Housing Markets?" Subtitle, "How home to billionaire investor Warren Buffett, the Nebraska city remains relatively affordable compared with other luxury real estate markets." Did you know you live in a luxury real estate market?
Yes, I do, now that I read the article.
Well, they show a lot of really cool houses, great views of Omaha. It was taken, the pictures look like they were taken maybe about 2 weeks ago, so the fall foliage is in full bloom. I'm seeing, here's a shot inside M's Pub. They really feature three neighborhoods, Fair Acres the most, but they also talk about Linden Estates and then the Regency District 66 area. They have a picture from Newport Landing. Of course, no article like this would be complete without a photograph of Warren Buffett's 6,500 square foot house in Midtown.
Or a quote from one of our professional residential agents at NP Dodge, which Jeff Wrench, our colleague from a different department, was quoted. So congratulations, Jeff Wrench. He does a great job.
Yeah, he said, "In Omaha, there are many homes worth over $1.5 million. They just don't trade hands all that often." And he goes on to say a lot of them just also are traded off market. And he said, "1 year I sold over 10 houses that never hit the market." So in Omaha, maybe a lot of the higher level stuff is sold discreetly.
Yeah, same with commercial.
And with that, we're going to take our final break of the hour. By the way, if you want to see that article, just go to Wall Street Journal. which is WSJ.com, and put Omaha in the search.
And hope you have a subscription.
Doesn't hurt. Put Omaha in the search function, and if you do have a subscription, you'll find the article. If you don't, well, I guess
Find a friend.
All for naught. And with that, we're going to take our final break of the hour. When we come back, it'll be the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round. I'm looking at the list, and it's very, very long. So you don't want to miss any of it. Stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Mr.
You
Vole,
want
are
to
you?
keep using that mic, or you want to move over?
I'm fine.
Doesn't bother me. Okay.
I like being next to Jeff because I can touch his leg easier.
Yes. It's a nice.
I just love my Trenton. Yeah, Amy likes.
That's going to be
Jeff?
still. That's the
Not
Uncut
so much
still.
on the show, but like when we're like at dinner last night or whatever it is. When Jeff laughs at my jokes, and you can tell a very sincere laugh that Amy said.
Oh, I think Trenton's absolutely hilarious, but during the show, I am a professional,
Yes.
and I keep my composure.
Did you ever see that?
Someone's got to.
Did you ever see
Someone's,
that?
and someone's got to get
That
the
big guy
content
when I
out.
touched his leg while he was on.
No.
There's this guy. I'll tell you about it later. What was his name's not so I don't have to splice this dice, but you got to see.
Because I think he's still mad.
This guy's like twice the size of me, and you talk about something serious, and I've been known to do that to some of our, not so much the female guests unless I really know him, but I just reached over like he's in the middle of a thought, he's just going and blowing, and I look at the camera and I reach over and I touch his leg, and there is on air, there's a pause.
And he's like, if looks could kill. I mean, you almost, reflex was probably to punch. And you probably came close.
I'm sure I have it.
I know exactly who you're talking
Do
about.
that to the mayor.
And I
have.
Thought about it. She'll be back in January. January 4th, I believe it is.
Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Get matched with your perfect bed and save up to $700 on a wide selection of quality mattresses.
Suppose I better
Plus,
get.
score a free adjustable base.
Better get this
with
ready.
qualifying purchase. See store for details.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay
Coming your way.
Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free
have a little bit more
Okay, see if you can open it.
the worth of your policy.
Lightning round this time.
Yeah, it's not as it's not going to be quite as fire drill oriented as it normally is. You might actually be able to get through the list for once.
That'd be novel.
That'd be unique. That'd be rare.
They like working with a local company. Then it comes time to get that home loan. You know, just the biggest investment. I love Holly Schneider. She's coming up with a page that won't open that says.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you? Would it not work? The link you gave me for the leg touch. Could you have turned it off?
I'll take your word for it. Then.
No,
All right, here we go.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan inviting you to join me for the Husker Online show this and every Friday night during the football season from 6 to 7 right here on Big Red Radio 1110 KFAB.
It's time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a very short period of time. Thank you to Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making this possible. You know, I periodically talk with Dave Kreitzer over there, who runs the place, and Dave is really good about giving me information about projects that they're working on. And recently we've talked about Ziggy's Coffee, very first location in the Omaha market near 201st and Q. They're opening on November 22nd. That's just right around the corner. And we've talked about how Hawaiian Brothers is another Perkins Kreitzer construction project in the former Boston market at Miracle Hills. And Dave says, I can't tell you what it's going to be, but there's some other big stuff coming to the Miracle Hills area. So I'm going to be on him and checking every day. Can we say it? Can we say something?
I'm excited for the Funny Bone in the arcade that it's going to be next to it. I'm going to the Funny Bone tonight.
Yep.
To see
at the current location in Village Point.
To see Omaha's own Spencer Gordman, who is hosting, and it's Greg Warren. So they're there for a couple nights. And then I'll be back on Tuesday to see Larry the Cable Guy.
And then in the future, when Trenton goes to the Funny Bone, it will be in a Perkins Kreitzer construction project, which is Miracle Hills Shopping Center, which is on the west side of 114th. All right, so if you want to learn more about them, just go to p-cconstruction.com. That's p-cconstruction.com. General contractor can help you with any of your projects, whether it's like a big office or warehouse building or an interior build out or anything in between. p-cconstruction.com. All right, first start with the bad news. Story's Coffee Company closed its Midtown Crossing location at 32nd and Farnham late October. Local coffee shop.
They were there?
They were. They were in that old, it was like that place. Yeah, that coffee place right there. I can't remember what the previous place was called, but Stories is a great product. And
cutting edge news, ladies and
like we said earlier, they are opening a new location next year near 156th and West Maple Road. But poor Midtown Crossing has really been taken in the shorts because in addition to Stories, they also are losing Modern Love. They've been there for 10 years, and this is a vegan restaurant right on the corner of the project, which is 3157 Farnham Street. Their lease expires in the summer of 2025, and so they've already said now that they plan to close in the summer of 2025, which might be a bit of a surprise.
And they only have 3 employees left by now.
I am totally not in their target demographic. But I've heard that it's a good place. Although I have to say, Trenton, as a guy who's never been there, I always just imagine when you're in there, there's like customers going from table to table bragging about being vegan to each other. But
with bone density issues.
Anyway, what were you going to say?
Culprit Cafe, I think, is where.
Yes, Culprit Cafe.
And then I know Pickleman's just renewed their lease too.
Yeah, you probably were involved in that.
I was.
Yeah. Well, let's get through some of the better news now that we got the closing stuff out of the way. 30 Hop will officially open its first Nebraska location December 6th at 114th at 114 North 145th Street. That's in Heartwood Preserve, right behind the new Charleston's and Mahogany. And this 30 Hop is a bar and grill concept that comes out of Ankeny, Coralville, and Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
And it's delicious. I've been to the Coralville location, and this is right below the apiary, or however you pronounce it. It's kind of a private bar club where you
cigar place.
They have a outdoor patio and everything else is heated. And what's neat about it is John Meyer and I represented the company. If you go there, there's like 10 or however many tankless water heaters, and you can see it through the window how they put it all together. It looks really nice. I think it's on the north side of the building. And congratulations to Tradesman Plumbing. They just bought a new building at 8961 H Street. Beautiful building, and we represented them. So Tradesman Plumbing will do a great job for you.
Ude Lolly, the restaurant here in Dundee, has expanded its weekly offering to include a Sunday brunch buffet from 10 to 2. I was talking with a proprietor of a Blackstone restaurant this week who is adding brunch, and he said, out west, brunches are not as big of a deal, but in the Dundee downtown Midtown area, apparently brunches are huge.
Is it because it's more walkable, maybe?
I don't know. Or maybe people sleep in more in the city or on Sunday. I don't know.
They don't cook as much?
Could be. The Salty Dog Bar and Grill will soon open its second location in a new retail building in MH Landing. The actual address is 3401 South 72nd Street, getting pretty close. Now, it has an existing location in Council Bluffs, and it will be in the same building as the future Wiener Schnitzel, which Grow Omaha listeners and subscribers are very excited about opening the California hot dog chain. Wingstop is opening at 176th and Welch Plaza. That's right just east of the 180th and Q High V. And in far southwest Omaha, we have a new Thai food and boba tea concept called Sip and Spice. Its grand opening was held yesterday, and it is northwest of 168th and Harrison Street.
Right.
Roja Mexican Grill, which is one of the many concepts of Omaha-based flagship restaurant group. This is going to make you feel old. celebrating its 20-year anniversary.
Out west in Legacy?
Yeah, so 20-year anniversary, 170th and West Center Road. Hard to believe they've been around that long. Now, they are celebrating it with $5 house margaritas all next week. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Comfort Made Mattress Factory is a retailer out of Lincoln that just opened its first Omaha location at 149th and West Maple Road. That's in a retail strip there on the south side of Maple that is anchored by Planet Fitness. And the music is playing, which means I've got to cut off everything that we're going to say. So we'll just bump it to next week. And of course, you can find out more content any day of the week by going to growomaha.com. But with that said, hope everyone has a great week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. We'll chat with you next week again at 9 o'clock a.m. right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
There we go.
It's a wrap. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.